ever had that experience? You get a huge raise, you celebrate, but then a year later, you look at your bank account and you feel more broke than ever before. You're doing all the things you're supposed to do. You're paying down debt, you're saving, you have insurance, but there's this feeling, this sense of fragility that just won't go away. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and expose the hidden traps in what we've all been told is smart financial wisdom.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It comes from this story about a couple whose income skyrockets from $80,000 to $150,000 a year. They're out at a fancy steakhouse, toasting to their new life. They feel rich, but fast forward 12 months, and that feeling is gone. In fact, things feel even tighter. They've walked straight into a trap, and they didn't even see it coming.
It's the question we all ask, right? The money comes in, and then it just seems to vanish. And it's usually not one big thing, it's a bunch of small leaks, a series of flawed assumptions that drain us dry. So today, we're basically going to become financial detectives. We're going to conduct a little forensic accounting on so-called common wisdom and find out exactly where the money is disappearing.
Okay, so let's start with myth number 1. This belief that we're all savvy shoppers. We think we're outsmarting the system, hunting for deals, dodging fees. But the reality? Your brain is being expertly manipulated to spend more, all while you get to feel like you're saving money. It's a brilliant trap.
Just look at this. It's so simple, it's brutal. You're buying a $42 shirt, and then you see it, that dreaded $7 shipping fee. So what do? To save that $7, you add a $12 pair of socks you don't even need to your cart just to get the free shipping. But look at the math. You just paid an extra $5 to avoid a $7 fee. You literally spent more money to save less.
And here's the thing, this isn't just you making a silly mistake. Nope, it's a known psychological glitch called the zero price effect. Behavioral economists have proven that our brains go a little haywire when we see the word free. It bypasses all our logic and triggers this powerful fear of missing out. And you better believe corporations know this. They use free like a Trojan horse to get right inside your wallet.
And this idea applies directly to those buy one, get one free deals. It feels like you're winning, but more often than not, the retailer is just trying to get rid of extra stock that isn't selling. You're not getting some amazing discount. You are literally paying them to solve their inventory problem for them. The cost of storing that junk just moved from their warehouse to your house.
Okay, so this isn't just about a pair of socks. Let's scale this up. Let's see how these same hidden traps work in the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make: who you marry and the house you buy. We're taught these are the cornerstones of a secure life, right? Well, it turns out they can be the biggest financial traps of all. So here's the crucial point. When you get married, forget the romance for a second. In the eyes of the law, you are signing the most important financial contract of your life. So, if you're a saver and you marry a big spender, you're not just going to have some arguments. You are effectively paying a lifelong spender tax. A partner's bad habits can quietly sabotage every single financial goal you have, potentially costing you over $1 million in lost growth over your lifetime. And what about that ultimate symbol of security, paying off the house? The problem is when you chase that feeling, you create this thing called dead equity. You take your most valuable, flexible resource, cash, and you lock it up inside an inflexible asset. You could be sitting in a $500,000 house, but if you lose your job tomorrow, you can't use that equity to buy groceries. You literally can't eat the drywall.
This chart just illustrates the mathematical mistake perfectly. Paying off a 4% mortgage is the same as choosing to lock your money in a savings account that gives you a guaranteed 4% return. But when the stock market has historically returned around 10%, you are actively choosing to give up that 6% difference. That's your opportunity cost.
I mean, just let that sink in. The decision to pay off a low-interest mortgage early isn't a math decision. It's an emotional one. You are paying a very real, very hefty fear tax. And the real irony, you're buying a feeling of security that actually makes you less financially flexible and in a real crisis, way less secure. Which brings us to our final and honestly most disturbing myth, the belief that your health insurance is some kind of reliable safety net. I want to tell you about a woman named Jennifer. She was a financial planner, she did everything right, had great insurance, and then she got a cancer diagnosis. 18 months later, she was completely financially ruined. The numbers here are they're staggering. Almost 2/3 of all personal bankruptcies in the United States are because of medical bills. I mean, to put that in perspective, take every other reason people go broke: job loss, bad investments, divorce, lump all of that together, and medical debt still bankrupts more Americans. And here it is. This is the knockout punch.
The vast majority, almost 3/4 of the people who went bankrupt from medical debt, already had health insurance. They were paying their premiums every month. They thought they were protected. This is proof that in our current system, having coverage does not equal being protected.
So how is that even possible? Well, it's because the system isn't broken. In many ways, it's a machine designed to do exactly this. First, your out-of-pocket max resets every single year, so a long illness bankrupts you in installments. Then, insurers deny claims constantly, nearly 1 in 5, because they're banking on you being too sick and tired to fight. And all the while, these surprise out-of-network charges can pop up and add tens of thousands to your bill. The system is designed to wear you down. And this quote just sums it all up, doesn't it? This cozy idea that you can just pay your premium and you'll be taken care of. It's a dangerous fantasy. The reality is, the system forces you to become a fighter, scrutinizing every bill, appealing every denial. You have to be a warrior just to be a patient. So, after hearing all of that, it is really easy to feel hopeless. But the point of this isn't to create despair, it's to create awareness. It's about recognizing that the conventional safety nets are full of holes. And if that's the case, it's time to stop relying on them and start building your own financial fortress. So, what does that look like? Here's the new framework. Rule number 1. Calculate the total price. Ignore the siren song of free shipping and BOGO deals. Just ask, what is the final amount of cash leaving my pocket? Rule number 2. Prioritize liquidity. Remember that debt equity trap? Cash in the bank is what gives you options in a crisis, not a paid-off house. Rule number 3, automate your defense. The best way to beat your own bad habits is to remove yourself from the equation. Automate your savings, automate your investments. And finally, rule number 4, question everything. Assume every piece of common wisdom, every good deal has a hidden cost. Because you know what? It almost always does. So I will leave you with this question. Just take an honest look at your own financial life. Is your strategy creating a fortress of cash and liquid assets that gives you real options and protects you from real shocks? Or are you building a gilded cage? You know, a beautiful life that looks secure on the outside, but is actually packed with fixed expenses that make it incredibly fragile. The choice, ultimately, is yours.